Did you realize that you had your parking brake on while you were driving home? Or are you merely interested in discovering what would occur if you did? Maybe you are just trying to get it to the shop because you can't unstuck the parking brake. Regardless of your need or curiosity, I'll break it all down for you. In this short guide, we will talk about the consequences of driving with the parking brake on, how parking brakes work, and what happens if you use the emergency brake while driving. It's Max the Car Guy. Subscribe and let's get started. Burning smell. You won't be able to accelerate as quickly as you normally can when driving down the road with your parking brake applied, and if you go too far, you might start to smell something burning. Your pads are overheating due to excessive friction between them and the rotors or drums, which is the source of this odor. Although this is a typical sign of using the parking brake while driving, it doesn't actually explain what can go wrong with the system. Glazing the brakes. This is the most prevalent and quite dangerous sign that you are driving with your parking brake applied. The excess friction causes the brakes to overheat, which can lead to a glaze forming over the pads and drums or rotors when the brakes cool down. This causes the surface to become much more slippery than it should be, which significantly lowers the stopping power of your car. In certain cases, regular use can remove this glaze and return your car's regular stopping power. In other cases, new pads and rotors or drums are required. Possible fire. Even though it's the worst-case situation, this is something that has happened. The brakes can catch fire if they overheat due to friction, which produces a lot of heat. Although it's the last thing you want, if you're driving with the parking brake engaged, there's a chance that your car could catch fire. Cable becomes misadjusted. The point on the brake cable where it connects to the brake lever is where your parking brake operates. If the brakes are too tight, the parking brake won't release all of its force, but if they are too loose, the parking brake won't engage all of its force. Engaging the parking brake while driving wears down the pads, which can cause the adjustment to become too loose. If that occurs, you will need to readjust the parking brake in order for it to give you the necessary stopping power. How a parking brake works. Before you can comprehend the consequences of driving with the e-brake engaged, you must comprehend its operation. If the emergency brake on your car is operated by pulling a lever, the lever is directly attached to a cable. Pulling the lever causes the cable to pull, engaging the parking brake on the back wheels of your vehicle. Your car will stop or remain stationary as a result of the brake pads pressing up against the rear drums. The same idea applies if your car has an electronic parking brake. However, an electronic parking brake does not require a cable. When the rear axle has disc brakes and the manufacturer doesn't want to install a smaller drum brake for the e-brake, they frequently use an electronic parking brake. The disc brakes are held in place by a threaded piston in the caliper, which is turned by an electrical motor when the electronic parking brake is engaged. What happens if you use the emergency brake while driving? Everyone has thought about it. What would happen if they engaged their parking brake while they were traveling? Well, the outcome wouldn't be very attractive in most cases. Pulling the parking brake as hard as you can while moving at a slower pace, less than 10 miles per hour, for example, will have the same effect as slamming on the brakes. You'll skid down the road as it locks up your back brakes at higher speeds. It's possible that you could fishtail, in which case your car's back end slides to one side. Naturally, this assumes that you engage your emergency brake all the way while operating a vehicle. Alternatively, you can apply your emergency brake gradually while operating a vehicle. This will give you control over the stop and is also referred to as feathering the brakes. However, compared to conventional brakes, this approach is far less effective. Hope the information was helpful for you. If so, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel.